I found some truly incredible information with Oliver Wyman and actually Ripple. I was digging through some documents that Oliver Wyman group put out, and I found a document that they worked with Ripple on. It's called Navigating Crypto White Paper, and it has a ton of gems in it. It has a really great information, and we're going to go over it. They did a survey back in 2021. This is a 2022 document, but they did a survey in 2021, and they surveyed 2,000 people. And the survey said that if my bank offered me crypto, that I would be more inclined to buy and hold it with my bank, right? The survey said that if they use those numbers and they go out into the entire United States adult population, 45 to 65 million people in the United States would own cryptocurrency if they could buy it through their bank. That and a ton more information that we're going to go over in this video, guys. Stick with me. I'm going to read a lot of stuff to you, go over a lot of stuff to you, but hey, it'll be a lot of fun. I'll probably mess up on some words, get you to laugh, and we'll get excited. We'll get through this. Okay, so check this out. Oliver Wyman is an American management consulting firm founded in New York City in 1994. Great year, great year, great year. I was born in 84. Great year. By former Booz Allen Hamilton, partners with Alex Oliver and Bill Wyman. So Oliver Wyman. Yep. All right. The firm has 60 offices in Europe, North America, Middle East, Asia Pacific, employing over 5,000 professionals. Okay. So here's the organization. Right? They have their website here. Nothing really too exciting, but Oliver Wyman puts out all of these different papers on digital assets that I'm sure different institutions like and different banks are probably looking at. This one talks more like it talks about FTX up here. You can read the whole white paper, talks about innovation accelerating reform regulation is needed, cryptocurrency investment, critical market events in 2022. It talks about the Luna collapse, the FTX collapse, contagion spreads. 2022 was a tough year for all of us. And if you made it through 2022, you're a soldier. You have battle wounds, you have medals on your chest, because 2022 was a tough year for all of us. And if you made it through, more power to you. If you're new to crypto and you didn't go through 2022, you're lucky, because people have battle wounds and scars and emptied bank accounts because of people invest a lot of money in Luna and they lost everything. And then people invested a lot of money in FTX and lost a lot. Anyways, so I'm going to include some of these documents down in the description if you want to read through these. But what I wanted to get to was this: navigating crypto. So navigating crypto, how financial intermediaries can integrate crypto assets. So here's the document, navigating crypto. Okay. And it's by Oliver Wyman and Ripple. Gotta love it. Gotta love it when you find stuff with Ripple and another company that you hadn't seen before. And you're like, man, look at this. And so who's on this white paper? Brooks Inwissel, Senior Vice President, Global Customer Success at RippleNet. And you have Brad Chase. And I played multiple clips from Brad Chase on this channel in different videos. And he's the Managing Director of the Liquidity Hub. Okay. And so we'll talk about this. But when the Bitcoin protocol came into existence in January 2009, it was introduced as a peer-to-peer vision of cash that would eliminate the need for financial institutions and other trusted intermediaries. Many of the early adopters of Bitcoin and other crypto assets that have come since have viewed these innovations as means to disrupt the traditional banking system. Over a decade later, crypto asset adoption has soared, but these non-traditional financial instruments have not replaced the traditional banking system. We find and will explore in this paper that most owners of crypto assets would prefer to interact with their digital assets through their trusted and convenient relationships they have with their financial institutions, which are our banks, right? Or our places where we keep our stocks and things, and our bonds and things like that, right? Those are like our Charles Schwab's, Investco's, those type of companies. Notably, our research suggests that there are as many as 65 million Americans who already own or are interested in crypto assets and who would prefer to interact with those crypto assets via their bank. Globally, this figure is much larger, especially in markets where the difficulties of accessing cryptocurrencies are a barrier for most customers. And it says banks and other traditional intermediaries have shown interest in building capabilities to serve the demonstrated demand for crypto assets today and to position themselves for a future in which digital assets could become more important building blocks of the financial market infrastructure. But despite expressing these interests, crypto asset offerings for most banks remain extremely limited in both scope and scale. All right. And there's a lot more information here, but what I want to get to and I want to show you is they have these exhibits, and these exhibits have so much good information in them. They're a lot of fun to read. So to check out this scale of adoption, it's really wild. It's really wild. Exhibit 1, a number of identity verified crypto asset users in the millions. So 2016, there are nearly 300 million crypto asset verified users in 2021, up from just 5 million in 2016. They've gained look at this, 97% growth in 5 years. Where do you think we're going to be in 5 years from this? So this was 2021. So this is going to 2026. We're about to be in 2024. Where do you think the growth has gone since then? Incredible, right? You're going to have over 1 billion people in the crypto market over the next 2 years. It's going to get nuts. It's going to get nuts. That would be like 1 out of every 8 people on the planet, right? And you can't really count kids, right? So I don't know how many kids there are in the world, but if you took away that, maybe there's 4.5, 5 billion adults, right? So that'd be like 1 out of 5 adults have crypto assets. That's nuts, guys. And it's just going to get bigger and bigger. I hear, this is obviously, guys, it's 2021 and don't hate me, but these numbers are fun to look at. So top 10 countries with the highest populations of crypto ownership. So back then it was India was leading, reigning supreme. And then you have the USA, you have Russia. It looks like Nigeria, Brazil, Pakistan, India. I don't know that one. I do apologize. It's not Indonesia, is it? I don't know. Sorry, I don't know the flag. And then you have Vietnam, Ukraine, and then I think that's Kenya. Interesting to see how this has changed since 2021, but they put this together in 2022 in like the middle of it. Exhibit 3, distinction between crypto assets, right? You have CBDCs, you have tokenized securities or your stocks and your bonds and your derivatives and your equities. All of that value is going to have a tokenized twin that lives on the blockchain, right? Obviously, the real life part of it, right, is not going to live on the blockchain. You're going to have the tokenized twin that represents the value, and that value is going to live on the blockchain. And that's how that value is going to move when an instrument or that security is sold. That's how the value moves at the speed of light, because the digital twin will be sent instantly, and then you'll have that ownership, and then the real life asset will come in the mail like it normally does. But the main thing is that you have the digital rights and the digital ownership of that asset instantly after you pay for it, right? We've all bought things before online and they take days to come and this and that. It would be really nice to have like the digital ownership of that asset right away and you don't have to worry about it. So you have CBDCs, right? Tokenized asset, digital art, tickets, there's real estate, there's so many other things that could go on here. Cryptocurrencies, popular cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, ETH, and more. Zoom down. And I'm going to include all these documents because I really highly suggest you read through this because it really is an incredible document. Even though if it's a year old and they're pulling 2021 information, doesn't matter. It's still really good to know. There's a lot of things that I learned reading through this document, and I think it's really powerful. Research conducted by Visa in 2021 of over 6,000 adults suggests that 90% of active cryptocurrency owners and 81% of passive owners showed interest in purchasing crypto assets via their bank. That's the number one thing here, via your bank. People want to feel secure, and people are not comfortable about creating a MetaMask wallet, putting funds on the wallet, sending the funds to MEXC or whatever, link down in the description, and buying crypto on that and then custodying their assets themselves in a ledger or a decent wallet or whatever it is, right? If people could buy crypto directly from their bank and store it at their bank, that's how they would feel more comfortable because they've had that banking relationship. Some people have banking relationships for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and that's where they feel comfortable. They walk into the bank, they know everybody that works there. That's their safe place where they keep their money. So that's where they want to keep their crypto assets. And once banks start offering crypto assets to people, that is really when the wave of adoption is going to come in. Many indicated that they would be willing to switch banks if a rival offered cryptocurrency assets. So what is that saying? So out of the 6,000 people, 90% are interested in buying cryptocurrency. 81% of passive owners showed interest in purchasing crypto assets via their bank. And so all of these people, if their bank are not going to offer them cryptocurrency, they might leave and go to another bank. So it's going to force banks to adopt cryptocurrency, even if they didn't want to, because if they don't, they might not be a bank anymore, because this is where all the money is going to be made over the next 10 to 20 years. It's going to be in stuff like crypto assets. Okay, you're with me? All right, let's keep it going because there's a lot of really cool information here. And this is not to mention the large number of potential owners, adults who are interested in owning crypto, but who have so far not been deterred by the frictions and perceived risks of crypto ownership. Surveys suggest 21% of adults in the global sample are potential owners. Individuals interested in owning crypto assets who do not own them today. Of this group, 2/3 believe crypto assets are difficult to use. That's accurate. That's very accurate. And 85% would like their banks to offer crypto assets. wallets. And here you go. A separate survey of 2,000 American adults by the Ascent found that 70% of respondents would consider owning cryptocurrency if it were possible to do it through their existing banking relationship. There it is, guys. There it is. So what do you have here? You have millions and millions of people that are sitting on the sidelines waiting for spot Bitcoin ETFs. They're waiting for their banks to say, hey, you just got paid. You want to buy some, I'm not going to say Ethereum. I hate Ethereum. XRP, some Bitcoin, some XLM, some MEXC, whatever it is, right? There's going to be certain assets that are going to be approved for use and for banks to be able to give to their customers. And that's really when you're going to see this just gigantic wall of money. You also have baby boomers, a little bit older generation. I don't want to say they're dying. My dad's a boomer, but they're getting older, right? My dad and mom are both 75. They're getting older. When and if that day does come, they're going to pass down whatever they can to me, my sister. I have a half brother. And what are we going to do with those assets? I know what I would do if I had X, Y, and Z assets today. I would put it in certain assets, right? I'd buy some nodes. I would do some passive income. I would buy some more XRP probably and XDC and Quant and XLM, right? Because those are really the assets that I've spent most of my life now in the last 4 years plus researching all of this stuff. And I know for a fact that this is going to be used on a massive way. Now, we've been waiting and waiting, but we're slowly getting to the point where mass adoption is around the corner. And when mass adoption happens, you don't want to be like getting in at that time or learning crypto at that time. You already need to have that information ready, right? If this happens in November or this happens next January or whatever the date is, and you're waiting for it to happen, and it happens, you've already missed it because you're not going to have all of the knowledge. That's why you need to pay attention right now. All right, guys, I'm going to include all this down in the description. There's one other thing I wanted to show you before we got out of here, which is this checklist for traditional intermediaries evaluating the crypto market. So you have the category, you have the key questions, key consideration, and key stakeholders, right? And so just pause this and take a look at it. It goes like what demand exists among clients for digital assets, what role to play for the crypto economy, and it says short versus long-term demand, right? You just want to take a look at this. Go ahead and mute, don't mute. Pause it and take a look at all these different frameworks. I'll include the document if you want to take a look at it, but there's also this too. Capabilities needed for financial intermediaries to offer crypto services. This is powerful, right? Capability, liquidity, and execution solutions, broker or direct exchange integration. So banks would need to be connected to brokers or direct exchange integration, right? They would need to be connected to market makers, order execution management systems, OMs, settlement networks, right? Also, settlement networks, they would need custody, wallet functionalities, on-chain analytics, banking product infrastructures, related non-core services. So these are all the things that banks would need to line up. And there's a lot of companies that are building out these connections for banks to connect them to market makers, to connect them to brokerages, to connect them to exchanges, right? So crypto can flow to the banking system and allow regular people to get into the digital asset market and not have to worry about digital keys and digital wallets. And then you also have, this is pretty good. Look how much money is it just in the United States, guys. It's mind-boggling. Average US bank technology budget by tier, chart in millions on log scale, average assets and number of banks in 2021. Check this out. But here, this is what I want to read. This is what I read to you. Tier 1 banks are globally systemically important banks with more than 1 trillion in assets. Tier 2 are national banks with 25 billion in assets. Tier 3 are US banks with more than 1 billion to 25 billion in assets. And Tier 4 to 5 banks have about less than 1 billion in assets. There's so much money in the United States. There's $19 trillion in US deposits just sitting in bank accounts. 19 trillion, okay? What happens when we wake up one day? Not just those deposits are tokenized, right? Now you have 19 trillion of digital money. And then you also will have a lot of that value getting into some of these assets because banks are going to start offering you crypto. Mark my words. If it's not 2024, it's 2025. The United States needs to get their shit together with regulation. Once regulation comes, banks are going to offer you crypto. There's no doubt in my mind because they've seen how much money Coinbase made. They've seen how much money Ripple's going to IPO one day soon here, and they're going to see how much money is there. They get it, and they want a piece of it. All right, guys, thank you so much. If you made it to the end, please let me know. I love you the best. Thank you so much. If you made it to the end, and you're not subscribed, please think to do so. I'm trying to get to 15,000 be in middle of October and 16,000 by the end of October. So I can only do it with your help. Please share with somebody you know, guys. I love you. Peace. Bye.